Okay, this is a quick video on selecting things. I think it's important to talk about the act or the action of selecting objects in AutoCAD. We use it a lot, not only in the erase command, which you might have already seen the video for the using the erase command or watch something on CAD Learning. So not only in the erase command do you use select objects, but you use select objects in the array command, in the mirror command, in the move and copy command, in the rotate command, in the scale command. So many of the modify commands, in addition to probably some other that I'm leaving out. And all of the methods for selecting objects are the same in AutoCAD. So it's a skill, it's a technique that is good to know how to use. Because it comes in handy with a lot of these commands. There's a lot of variation. There's a lot of different options for selecting things. The first thing I want to do is I want to remind you about the AutoCAD quick reference card that I have created and uploaded to the Canvas page. I'm going to pull it in here right now so I can remind you. So here we have the quick reference page here. I strongly suggest that you print this out and keep this with you when you're doing your drawings. It's a quick reference sheet that reminds you of the command aliases, things that you can, these are the commands, or these are the letters that you can type in to go straight to a command rather than choosing it from the ribbon and the panels. It also has status bar toggles. A lot of this stuff, we'll get into later in the class. Important keys, escape, enter, space bar, some reminders about angles and how to draw lines, and then different directions for lines. Also status bar elements. What are the different elements down here? But really what I want to point out is this square right over here, this rectangle, selecting object modes. So so we can, when we're selecting objects, regardless of the command that we're using, again, erase, mirror, array, copy, move, all that stuff, there's a number of different modes that we can use, okay? And they include picking it with a button, dragging right, dragging left. Those are what we call the implied windows. Then there's A for adding to the selection set all, blah, blah, blah. You can read this as well as I can. I want to go through some of these because what I've seen over the years is this is kind of one of the things that a lot of new users get hung up on or stuck on. So we'll look at some of this. Okay, so first of all, let's take that to the side. So first of all, let's look at the difference when we're in a command and when we're not in a command, because one of the common problems that new users have is they forget to go get the command. You have to tell AutoCAD to go do something and then you select the object. So normally the process works like this, and I'll use the erase command just as the vehicle for showing you select objects. But normally when we want to erase something, we go to erase. Right? Whoops, we go to erase, and then it says select objects, and that's our clue to use one of our techniques. So we can use the implied window like so, select all the objects, and then go like this. What often happens with new users is they forget to go get the command or to execute the command. And so what happens is they go like this. They want to erase something, and so they go like this. Right? So far, so good, right? Everything looks good. And then you go like this, and then you're like, hey, what happened? Why do I have those blue boxes? What happened to the erase command? And you might have already noticed that what happened was I did not do the erase command first and then select objects. So all I've done is selected objects. AutoCAD doesn't know why I selected those objects, what for. It doesn't know what command I'm going to ask it to execute. It just knows that I've selected those objects using the implied crossing window. Okay, so is that the proper way to select objects? Well, I mean, it's tough to say whether it's proper or improper. It's one way. It's not maybe the first way to do this. Let me hit escape to get out of this. By the way, if you do this and you get these blue boxes, don't fret, just hit escape. There we go. It cancels that. So AutoCAD allows us to use what is called verb noun and noun verb command execution. Verb noun and noun verb. Okay. So the first way that I showed you, which was going to the erase command, selecting that command, and then it says selecting the objects like this. That is the verb noun order of operation, right? The verb that I selected first was erase. That's the action. That's what I want to do. The noun was the things that I want to erase, and those in this case are the lines and circles. So this was the verb noun selection process. Okay. We can also use the noun verb selection process. Noun, things. So I select the things, and then the verb is I go tell AutoCAD what I want to do with these lines. In this case, I want to erase it. Now watch what happens when I choose erase here. They just disappear. Okay, so again, let me undo that. So we have verb, erase, pick our objects, hit enter, and noun verb, which is we select our objects and then we choose our action, our command, and it's executed. I don't have to hit enter or the space bar to do that. Once it's selected, then it's going to do that. So actually you can choose either way, and a lot of times with as you get more proficient, you'll kind of mix and match. You'll be doing some things and you'll go, yeah, I want to get rid of this, and then you'll hit the delete key or go up here to erase and do it like that. Other times you'll go to the erase command and say, yeah, I need to get rid of these lines right here, and hit enter and get rid of them. So it just depends on how you feel like doing things at the moment. But the important thing is when you forget to go get the command first and you start doing this, the important thing is not to freak out. Just to understand, oh yeah, Chuck said that I've just selected things first. The blue boxes, which by the way are called grip boxes, and we'll talk about those later. The blue boxes are just showing that I've selected these objects, and now I get to choose the command. All right, so we can go to erase like that. Okay. Now, regardless of which method you're using, noun verb or verb noun, all the selection modes are available to us. Okay, so let's go through these selection modes, and I'll talk a little bit about what I've seen in the past in terms of teaching AutoCAD, with the idea that this might help you with some problems that you might be encountering. Obviously, one of the big issues with online education is I can't watch you do the AutoCAD. I can't watch you draw like I can in class. In class, I'll walk around and I'll watch what you're doing. If you have a problem, I'll come over and I'll ask you to to do the thing that was giving you the problem again. I can watch how you're clicking the mouse buttons and stuff. Online, I can't do that. We can share screens, so I can, we can have a WebEx meeting and I can look at your screen and you can look at my screen and all that stuff, but I can't see how you're clicking. And a lot of times I can't see the problems that you're going to get yourself into so that I can try to help you figure out what's going on and to not make those mistakes again. So this little video is partially going to show you about the selection mode, but also I'm trying to proactively get ahead of some mistakes that historically I've seen beginning students make. Okay, the first one is getting overeager and just selecting things and not knowing what these blue boxes are and not understanding that you actually are doing the noun verb selection process and not the verb noun. Okay, so that's one thing. Now, selecting objects. All right, so let's go back to the erase command. So how can we select objects? All right, let's run through them real quick. We can pick our objects, right? It's probably the easiest way. You just move the cursor, the pick box over the object, click with the left mouse button, and boom, the object is picked. Okay, that adds it to the selection set, and when I hit enter, the action or command is going to be executed. In this case, the erase command. So I've selected those two circles right there. I can also drag. I can click in space, and I can drag to the right. Okay, dragging to the right gives us the blue box, which is a implied window or selection window. Any object that is entirely within the window is going to be selected. Okay, so now you can see they kind of turn gray. So watch as you see that horizontal line right there turns gray, and then the one just above it turns gray, and then the vertical line right there turns gray. So those three lines are selected. The ones that are partially in are not selected. So I can click and add that to the selection set. Okay, I can click and drag to the left, and this is for a crossing window, right? It's a green window versus a blue window. Notice the outline is broken lines instead of a solid line. So in this case, it's going to select objects that are entirely within the green window and also crossing the green boundary. So you can see in this case, there's two lines, the vertical and horizontal line on the top right-hand side, that are crossing the boundaries of the crossing window, and so they're selected, right? So I pick and do that. So again, pick, drag to the right, pick, drag to the left. Okay. Now we can type in all, right? All, just type all. You don't have to move the cursor anywhere. And then it will pick everything on the screen. I'm not going to do that right now because I want to go through the selecting process. We can also do a crossing polygon. Okay. Now this one's a little bit weird. I can tell you that I rarely use it. Outside of teaching it, I can honestly say that I don't think I've ever used this. But there's a crossing polygon. So watch. I type in CP. This is on your reference sheet. So I type in CP and hit enter, and it says first polygon point. So I can click. Let me click in here, and here, and here, and here, and here. And then when I want to end the polygon, I just hit enter. So you can see that it's making not a crossing rectangle, but a crossing polygon. Okay. Again, I honestly don't know why you would use that. I'm sure that there's some reason that comes in handy, but it is there. So, all right. So then we have the crossing window, just the same without the CW. We type CW, and it's the same. Whoops. Let me try that again. CW. Hit enter. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's we've already gone through that. Oh, we have the crossing fence. This is a fun one. So remember the polygon, the crossing polygon was, click, 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 and we're basically making an area, right? And then when we're done with the polygon, we hit enter and we do that. The fence, we're just making a line. So watch this one. We go F for fence, enter, and we're just going to go like this. And then when we're done, hit enter. So every object that crosses that line is selected. Okay. We have P for polygon. This is the Windows version of or the select all version of the crossing polygon. So P for polygon. Whoops. Sorry. P. Oh, I think I already did that one. I'm losing track of which ones I've done. Now, okay, we're almost at the end. I'm gonna do the all, ALL, hit enter. All right, so we selected everything on the screen. Now, what happens if I want to take some things out? Right? I actually mentioned this in the other video, but we can go through it again. Right now, the command line says select objects. If I type in R and hit enter, it switches to remove objects. And now I have the same modes available to me, but now I'm going to be removing objects from the erase selection set or from the command execution set. Okay. To go back to selecting objects, I'm going to type in A to add. See, it goes back to select objects. Okay. Now, here's the last one that kind of that can confuse people, and especially if you are a Mac user. Okay, Mac users, Macintosh computers, Apple computers, are notorious for having the users hold down the left mouse button. Windows users, we don't hold down the left mouse button. We click with the left mouse button once or twice. We click. Apple users hold the left mouse button down. So if you're an Apple user, you may be doing this. Right? Notice this is called the lasso. And that's holding the left mouse button down and moving it. Now, if I hold it and move it to the left, I get a crossing lasso. If I hold it and move, if I hold it and move it to the right, I get a regular selection lasso. So again, hold it and move to the left, crossing lasso, hold it and move to the right, regular lasso. Let me remove these objects. There we go. And I'll go back to the lasso. So we hold it and drag it this way. We select all those objects. We hold it and drag it this way. We select these objects. And then when we're done selecting objects, we hit the Enter key of the spacebar, and then we execute whatever command we've started. In this case, the erase command. Okay, so that's selecting objects. All very good skills to know and to be aware of. Remember to reference your Autocad reference sheet where they're all listed there. Remember that if you select objects and you get these blue boxes, it's not because AutoCAD's broken. It's not because you did something wrong. It's just that you're doing things in a reverse order. So you just need to go up to the command that you want to use then. Or hit the escape key. Okay? And if you're a Mac user and you're used to holding the button down, don't worry. That's just the lasso, and it's just another selection mode. Okay? So those are all good things to practice, right? Remember that you're not going to break AutoCAD. So and escape is your best friend. So when things start going a little bit squirrely and you don't know what's going on, just hit escape a couple times, cancel the command, get out of whatever you're doing, and start over again. You're not going to break AutoCAD, and at the early stages of drawing, it's really just about trying things out and seeing what happens. Just remember that when you're executing a command, typically for like a draw command, I need to go get the command first, so I need to go to the line command and then start drawing the line, right? And for modify commands, I can use the verb noun, which is erase, select the objects, hit enter, or noun verb, which is select the objects, and then go to the command, in this case erase. Okay, so any of those methods are good. Please use your reference sheet. If you have any questions, you can email me. If we need to do a WebEx meeting, then please let me know if you feel like you want a little one-on-one time to talk about any problems that you're having in particular. And that's it. I'll see you on the next video. All right, thanks. Bye.